Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is Sudhir. Julius Caesar, Act 4, Scene 2. As I said in the last video, the war has kind of started, or at least the preparation for the battle has started, and that's what Act 4 largely is about. Now, let's now get into the scene word by word explanation so that it is clear. Okay, Scene 2. It is taking place on a camp at the battlefield before the tent of Brutus. There is some kind of an announcement, and Brutus, Lucilius, and soldiers enter. Titinus and Pindarus are meeting them. Okay. Brutus says, stop. Stand ho is essentially referring to stop. Lucilius says, give the word ho and stand. He says, pass on the command to halt. That is, all the other soldiers need to halt. That is, pass on the command. This is not very important in that sense, but I'm just telling you. What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near? He says, what is happening now, Lucilius? Is Cassius nearby? Lucilius says that yes, he is at hand, means that he is nearby. Okay, and Pindarus has come to salute you on behalf, to greet you on behalf of his master, that is Cassius. Okay, Brutus says, he greets me well, your master Pindarus in his own charge or by ill officers. So he says that he has sent me greetings through a good man. That is, he approves of this man called Pindarus. There will be lots of such minor characters. We don't really need to remember them too much except the main ones. He says, and then he says to Pindarus that your master, that is Cassius, either because he has changed his mind in his own change, or he has been advised by some bad officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied. So now Brutus is expressing some kind of a disappointment with the manner in which Cassius has behaved. What he's saying is that either he has changed his mind, or he has been advised by some bad officers, ill officers, and that has given me justifiable reason. Worthy means it has given me justifiable reason to wish that we could undo some of the things that we did. And he could possibly be referring to the assassination of Julius Caesar, that we could undo some of the things that we did because of the manner in which Cassius is now behaving. If he is nearby, at hand means if he is nearby, what I have already told you here. If he is nearby, I would want an explanation. I shall be satisfied means I would want to listen to his explanation and be satisfied by that explanation. Pindarus says, I do not doubt, but that my noble master will appear such as he is, full of regard and honor. So he says, I do not doubt. Pindarus says on behalf of Cassius that I do not doubt that my noble master, okay, will prove himself to be what he is. Okay, respectful, full of regard means that he is respectful, I mean, with respect to Brutus, and also an honorable person. So he said he will prove himself to be respectful and honorable. So Brutus says he's not doubted. It's not as though I am doubting him. I do not doubt him. Can I have a word with you, Lucilius? Right? And then the second line is said only to Lucilius. He says, how he received you, let me be resolved. He wants to know from Lucilius, how did Cassius receive him? How did he react to him? Because from that, he's trying to understand what is going on in Cassius' mind. So what is it that you're realizing? That there is some kind of differences which have come up, which have cropped up between Brutus and Cassius since we last met them briefly in Act 3, Scene 2. So there have been some differences which have cropped up between the two main conspirators, and that's an important development that you should make note of. So he says, let me be resolved means let me be fully informed about it. Okay. Lucilius says, with courtesy and with respect enough. With courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old. So he says that he received me with courtesy, that is with good manners and with a lot of respect, but at the same time, not with such familiar instances, that is, not with such kind of friendliness, friendly kind of behavior, as he used to be with free talking. Earlier he used to be earlier he used to be very free and a lot of friendly and in a very familiar, we used to be used to that kind of behavior, but he was not like that now. Brutus says, thou hast described a hot friend cooling. So he says that you have described, you have described a once close friend who is now distant. A hot friend, someone who was a very close friend, now he is looking to be very distant. There are duriyan aa gayi hain. There are some kind of a distance has come between the two friends. He says, ever note. He says, note this, Lucilius. When love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. This is an important 2 lines. Okay, again from the point of view of the reference to context question. So he says that when love begins to fade, sicken and decay means it begins to fade and wither. Decay means withering away. It uses forced politeness. An enforced ceremony is that it uses forced politeness. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith. He says there are no tricks needed in an honest and genuine relationship. In plain, honest, and genuine relationships, you don't need to have any kind of tricks to sustain a relationship which is an honest and a genuine kind of a relationship. But hollow men like horses hot at hand make gallant show and promise of their mettle. However, at the same time, insincere men, hollow men means men who are insincere, like horses hot at hand, like horses which are very eager at first. Hot at hand means they're initially full of enthusiasm, a lot of eagerness, and at the same time they make a big kind of show of their courage. The mettle means courage. They make a gallant show means they kind of make a big show of their courage. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crest and like deceitful jades sink in the trial. Comes his army on. So he says, but when they face a tough challenge, endure the bloody spur means when they are faced with a tough challenge. I hope you're noting all this down. They lose their confidence. They fall their crest means they lose their confidence, and at the same time, like worthless horses. Deceitful jades means like worthless horses. They sink in the trial, they fail in the test. Sink in the trial means they fail in the test. If you know all this meaning word by word, you will never have any problem. And if you understand it in English, it makes it so much easier for you to be able to use the same words in the examination. And then he says, is Cassius's army coming near? They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius. So he says that the horses part about the crest one is that horses, when they lose their confidence, they lower their plumes. Jo yahan par baal hote hain na horses ke neck ke around. So they kind of lower their plumes to signify defeat. Fall their crest is a similar kind of reference in military terms. Okay. So Lucilius says that they are going to spend their night in Sardis. That is, they are going to be staying the night in Sardis, which is a place. The greater part, the horse in general, are coming with Cassius. The larger part, the cavalry. The horses are the cavalry. That's what is known in army terms, military terms. That is coming with Cassius. So Brutus says, oh, look, he has arrived. Hark, he has arrived. And then low march. March gently on to meet him. So he says, march slowly to meet him. meet Cassius. Cassius enters along with his troops. The same thing, halt, halt is, speak the word, pass the word along, halt, halt, halt. Most noble brother, you have done me wrong. Cassius says. Now, Cassius is the one who is complaining to Brutus. So, till now, we thought that Brutus is the one who was having complaints against Cassius. So, Cassius says, most noble brother, you have done me wrong. Brutus says, may the gods judge me then. Judge me, you gods. May the gods judge me then. Wrong I mine enemies. Do I mistreat even my enemies? I mean, you are a friend, you are a brother. I am the type who will not even mistreat, ill-treat my own enemies. If not so, how would I wrong a brother, right? If that is not so, how could I wrong a brother? Cassius says, Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them, so he says, this very dignified manner, this sober form means this dignified form of yours, it hides the wrongs that you have done to me. And when you do these wrongs, and Brutus does not allow him to complete the sentence, he interjects. So Brutus says, Cassius, be content, calm down. Be content means calm down. He says, speak softly about your troubles, whatever discontent you are having, express them little softly. I know you very well. I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, we should perceive nothing but love from us. So he's being shrewd. So he says, in front of both our armies, our soldiers are around us. Let us not argue. Wrangle means let us not argue. Okay. And show anything but love. That they should not think of anything except the fact that we love each other very much. So they should not feel that we are arguing over something. So he says, bid them move away. Tell them to move away. Then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs. Give free expression to your griefs. Enlarge means khulkar mere ko batao. Mujhe batao. Give expression to whatever is troubling you. Give expression or express your griefs, and I will listen to you. I will give you audience mean I will listen to you. So Cassius says, Pindarus, bid our commanders lead their charges off. So he's ordering Pindarus that tell our commanders to move their troops. The charges means the troops a little away from here. Brutus says the same thing to Lucilius. He says, Lucilius, you do the like. Okay, do the same and let no man come to our tent till we have finished our conference, till we have finished talking to each other with our conversation, till we have finished our conversation. Let no man come to our tent. Nobody should come into our tent. Let Lucius and Titinius guard our door. Okay, while we are engaged in a serious conversation. So with this, we come to the end of Act 4, Scene 2. I hope this is clear. As I said, this is a small scene, not a very important scene from the overall point of view of what happens thing, but this kind of sets the pace for what happens, unfolds later in Scene 3, when Brutus and Cassius will have a heart-to-heart conversation on what misunderstandings have crept between the two. And this is as an idea. In the overall context, we know that the two of them are not completely in agreement with each other. They're not completely at peace with each other. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your trust. I'll see you next in Act 4, Scene 3. Tata.